There's no easy way to say this, Wesley, so I'm just gonna come right out with it. Mommy and Daddy are splitting up, pal.
Who makes these laws? Wesley's property?
The outstanding issue is the custody arrangements. I'll assign a veterinary behaviorist to evaluate you both.
Wesley is on the verge of psychological disarray.
He is better off with me?
It's my place or no place.
You can't do this!
Say bye-bye to Mommy.
So that is a clip from the 2016 comedy Who Gets the Dog? But it is a common real-life scenario for a lot of couples. And as we count down to Valentine's Day, we want to help anyone on the verge of tying the knot. While prenups are known for couples splitting assets, more and more are including details about their pets. So this morning, family law attorney, Cipriani and Werner partner Tracey joins us with tips on handling pets and prenups. Good morning. Good to see you, Tracey.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me. Great to see you as well, Holly.
Okay, so are we talking about pets we bring to the marriage or pets we acquire after we get married?
We're actually talking about both. If we're talking about prenups, then we're definitely talking about pets that you bring into the marriage. But if you do get married and you don't have a prenup or a postnuptial agreement, we really want to plan for those pets that you've acquired during the marriage as well to figure out who is going to care for them after the divorce ends.
Yeah, so how do we set up these terms? I mean, how does this work?
You know, I always recommend that people definitely consult with one another and with their own attorneys in terms of setting up a prenuptial agreement. A prenuptial agreement on its face is a term that breaks down both parties.
Okay, it looks like we've lost Tracey's audio, so maybe we can work on that a little bit. One of the issues that comes up for now, and they've been working to change some of these laws, is that, you know, we think of our pets as like our kids. In the eyes of the law, though, they're just property. They're the same as like a couch. So it's really hard determining who gets what, and usually joint custody, not necessarily always a thing. Hopefully we'll get Tracey back and we'll be able to talk more, but we're still working on that for now. One of the things she says that you do need to do, though, is think about the expenses of the pet when you're trying to figure out, you know, how would we move forward if we split up? Who's able to best care for the pet? Does the pet tend to like someone else more? You know, usually the pet gravitates to one or another, and sometimes you need to be honest with that. Tracey, are you back?
I am back. Can you hear me, Holly?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly. All right. So before we were so rudely interrupted by technical problems, you were saying, go ahead.
So I was saying it's really important to make sure that your pets are cared for both before, during, and after the marriage. So one of the things that you want to look at is really who is caring for this pet, who has the ability to pay for the expenses for the pet. You know, we're looking at things like emergencies, insurance, and any other outstanding expenses when you're talking about prenups for, similar to that you would for a child, although with your human babies, if you will, you can't necessarily set up the same amount of structure that you can for a pet. And I heard you mention, Holly, also, I mean, this indication that pets are generally considered a property is an idea that is really starting to be rethought and recalculated. For example, in the state of New York, they are now sort of doing more of a hybrid. They're doing a property interest, but they're also doing a close emotional family pet, and sort of bringing those two together to figure out what's the best for all in this scenario.
Yeah, I'm really glad that they are rethinking it, because I actually have had several friends that have gone through the whole, you know, the attorney saying to them, look, I'm sorry, but your dog's just another piece of property in terms of splitting things up, but that's not how we view it. So it is something that's evolving, but I guess it is important to have these kind of conversations before you even get the dog. It would seem like to me if you bring a dog into the relationship, you should get to leave with that dog. But I mean, I don't know. But getting the dog after the fact is where the waters become a little bit muddied.
You're absolutely correct. I mean, typically, if you're bringing in a piece of property, unfortunately, although a lot of dog moms and dads don't think of their dogs as property, but if you're bringing a piece of property into the marriage, then absolutely. I mean, I work with clients that have both cats and dogs, but also in this area, horses. And so sometimes these pets are very, very important to these individuals, as they should be. They want to make sure if they're going to bring a pet or an animal into this marriage, that they're certainly going to leave with them. But, time happens. People get bonded differently. You start to have kids. And so when we're talking about pets, sometimes even with custody situations, pet schedules will tend to mirror that of the children. So if mom has the children on, say, a Monday or Tuesday, and then the dog or cat may trail the children on Monday and Tuesday and then be back at dad's house as well.
Tracey, it's all so complicated. It's always so complicated.
It is, but that's what we're here for.
Right.
And so we will try to make it as painless as possible.
That's the importance of talking about it before the emotions get involved. Tracey Coates, thank you. As always, you're super helpful. Take care.
Thank you so much, Holly.